Good evening, Mr. Ham. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Mr. Claywell. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. Just great. So I got you over here tonight. There's been a thing brewing in the back of my head for a little while here. Anybody out there that's listening, it's an idea that I've had. It's something that I kind of wanted to do. I thought we might have, on a rare, not every time, but on a rare occasion, maybe we could deep dive into an episode of a show that I really enjoy called Black Mirror.
It's a weird show. Now, I've got to say, I've only watched the one episode that you were like, okay, you need to watch this one because this is the one we want to talk about tonight.
Okay.
But I'm just going to say, what I watched, I liked, and it's probably going to be one that it's now on my to-watch list. So I'm going to, and even Mom was like, she caught part of the episode. Ashley sat and watched it with me. And she was like, okay, so that show you were watching the other day, how long are they? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. The one that we watched was like 60 minutes, but I think it's anywhere between like an hour to maybe an hour and a half per episode, something like that.
Typically,
so
yeah.
I was like, thing is, we watched that was like the first episode of the third season. It's the only thing I've watched, and each one of them is like standalone, right?
Yeah, every episode's completely standalone. Have no interaction with any other episode so far.
Yeah, so that way, and I was like, I'm going to try to watch it. I'm sure Mom wants to start watching it, and Ashley seemed pretty interested. So if Mom and Ashley are both interested, Penelope does take naps occasionally, and
right.
They normally get the remote whenever she's asleep.
Okay.
So I might get to watch some Black Mirror.
Right on. Well, if you do, that's awesome. Like I said, it's not something I want to do like every week. I don't want to turn it into just that's what the podcast is.
No.
But just occasionally.
If we find something that's interesting or something that parallels something that we see in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's specifically why I singled out this episode. And like you said, it's the first episode of the third season.
Yes.
The title of the episode is Nosedive.
Yes.
And I just found the whole concept of the episode very prescient.
It's bizarre to say the least.
Right. And if anybody hasn't seen the show, Black Mirror is, if you ask me, in the vein of something like The Twilight Zone or Outer Limits. It has that kind of feel to the show.
It does. It's very sci-fi-y, but it's not sci-fi-y as in robots and space and stuff like that. It is like science concepts that possibly could take place. And it's just kind of out there, weird.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff, to me, it's near future. Like they never really specify a time frame when this is taking place.
No, realistically, the episode that we're going to talk about tonight could be 10 years from now.
Right. Exactly. So,
I mean, it's really, it's close. It's one of those things. So.
Yeah, and a lot of it does have that near future kind of feel, and you never really know, is that 5 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now?
Right.
Because a lot of the core concept of the episode is going to be some kind of piece of technology,
right?
Typically speaking, and how that technology has influenced society.
Yeah, how its application has created either a niche or the way people live in this world that they've created.
Right, exactly. And so the show kind of asks these questions of like, how does technology affect the human condition? Some of them are really cool. Some of them are scary. I mean, not horror movie scary, but just in concept, the principle that they take or the viewpoint that they take this could be what happens is a little intimidating.
Think of parallel universe. If AI were created 10 years ago, how would that have influenced and what would we be living in today?
Exactly.
Those kind of things.
Right.
So here's what I want to say before we go any further. If you haven't watched and you do have Netflix and you want to watch this episode before you continue on, pause us right now.
Yeah.
Episode 1, Season 3, it's called Nosedive.
Correct.
It's 60 minutes long. When you get back to us after watching the episode, it'll make a lot more sense.
Right. Yeah. And spoiler warning, we're going to talk about the episode in detail. So
yes.
there will be spoilers. If you don't want that ruined, then
like I say, pause us and watch.
Pause us, watch it, or come back after you watched it, or
And here's the good
skip
thing.
this episode, I
here's
guess.
the good thing. So even if you are like on episode 3 of the first season, you can still pause us, go watch episode 1 of the third season, because they are all standalone, and you won't be really messing anything with. There's no linear timeline to be messing with. So you would just catch that episode, and then you can skip it when you actually get to it. Right. So we're not going to mess with you that way.
Yeah, exactly.
That being said, though, let's talk about this episode, because it is, dude. It is out there. I like the way it starts off is just, you see the little redheaded girl that's in it.
Right.
And she's running.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep.
Playing Lacey.
Yeah. Yep. And she's doing her morning jog. And as she's going, like, she starts, like, to me, I had no clue what was going on in the episode for the first few minutes. So she would see these people that were jogging by her, and there would be a little circle that popped up around their face, and there would be like numbers. Yeah. And I was like, what in the world? So once you get into the episode, within just a few minutes, you figure out really, really quickly what those numbers represent.
Right. And so the whole society basically is based off of kind of this Facebook sort of a structure, and everybody is carrying around, I wouldn't really call it a telephone, but it's what we would think of as a smartphone. But in the episode, they look more like a clear piece of glass, kind of, that you use your hands to gesture on, like swipes and stuff. They don't really,
it's more
typically
touchpad. Yeah,
and they typically don't have anything on the surface of the phone, because everybody has gotten an implant in their cornea that acts as a screen.
Yeah, so basically it's like projecting without projecting. Your mind is seeing this. You're visually seeing these things.
Yeah, you see it, but it's like on your cornea. So it's just kind of floating in your field of vision. It's not on a screen like that you have to hold in your hand like a smartphone. So everybody, and that's how she's seeing those circles around people's heads, and the numbers floating out beside them that's all in her eyeball.
Yeah, basically. Think of Google smart glasses
in a contact lens.
In a contact lens, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is.
Right. Yeah. And stuff like that is coming.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is.
That's the first thing you notice in the episode is like there's all this stuff, and everybody she interacts with, you hear this little whoosh, doo-doo-doo.
Yep.
Whoosh, doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yep. And what's happening there is based on an interaction that she is having with these people. They are rating her, and she is rating them.
Exactly.
So basically, it's on a 5-star system, and like as she's jogging, when she's interacting with this other group, it's all smiles and hey, it's good to see you guys, and your workout is really good, looking great, and all this kind of stuff. And then suddenly there's a whole bunch of these like swipes. And they're rating her. Her rating is going up. Their rating is going up. And that's kind of like what the entire society does. Every interaction that you have with a person is rated based on context. What else? I mean, you have context. You have
tone of voice.
Yeah, appearance. Service. I mean, just anything and everything. So it's crazy.
And shortly into the episode, you see her, Bryce, standing in front of a mirror, laughing.
Yeah.
Like, and then she just goes stone-faced.
Yeah. Like
and then she laughs again.
It's like
stone-face.
Practicing those gestures.
Exactly. She is almost sociopathically.
Yeah. I mean, she's
training herself to laugh even if she doesn't feel it.
Right.
Because that's going to affect how other people perceive her.
Right. And she's trying her best to make it as sincere as possible.
Yeah. To make it look as real as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. And why would that matter?
Well, I mean, it all has to do with that interaction that she had with that person. So she has this interaction. Everyone's laughing. Everyone it seems sincere. She gets a higher rating, which boosts her score.
Yeah, but so what? It's Facebook. What does it matter? What your number?
So
what your score is?
The score in this episode, though, is what the entire society is based on. So like if you are a 4.1, you have done pretty well, and you will be granted access to things that maybe a 2.8 would not be able to do. Or, basically those scores though will set your social standing.
All right. So for example, again, early on in the episode, she arrives at work.
Yes.
It's the first time you follow her to her place of employment.
Mm-hmm. She goes into the elevator.
She gets off. She has an interaction with the lady in the elevator that you can tell they're so faking it.
And they are. And like even in that scene, like they have the little touchpad in their hand and they're looking at the walls kind of away from one another.
Right.
And
they're looking up each other's
basically
profile.
Yeah, their feed. And they're able to ask one another questions about the cat or about this or about that. Yeah. And then they'll rate one another. Now that you find out that the girl that's in the elevator, I think she was a 4.6 or a 4.7, whereas
something like that.
The redhead girl, Lacey, is a 4.2. I think
at the time. Yeah.
At the time. So the thing is when you're interacting with someone that's at a higher rating than you, and they give you a rating, that will help to boost your status even more.
Well, if they rate you highly.
If they rate you highly. If they don't rate you highly, then it can ding you quite a bit as well, because their opinion matters more because they have a higher rating.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And so when she gets into work, she sits at her desk, and this nervous-looking guy comes up to her holding this tray of drinks, and he's like, "Oh, Lacey, I've got these blenders. I bought them from the smoothie store. It's organic." And she's like, "Okay." And she's like freaked out a little bit, and he's like, they're from that smoothie store you like. They're totally organic." And she's like,
she looks up at him, and he's like a 3.2. So he's trying to boost his numbers.
And so she takes the shake, and she drinks it, and he's just like staring at her, just like, what are you gonna do?
So she picks up her
phone and smiles at him and flips her thumb, and you hear that.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
And he walks away, and her coworker sitting across the aisle from her is like, "What did you do?" And she's like, "Well, he bought me a smoothie. Jess, I think it was his name. I can't remember. Brought me a smoothie." And the guy's like, "Oh, he's on." And she's like, "But he's a 3.1. What happened?" And he's like, "Oh, you didn't know?" And Lacey's like, "No, I didn't know." And the guy across from her, he says, "He broke up with so-and-so." And she's like, "Oh no, how bad for Jess?" And the guy goes, No. We're on the other person's side. And she's like, "Oh yeah, of course we are. Yeah."
Yeah. So, So the interaction that she has with the coworker, then at that point you start hearing the little because other coworkers have overheard this conversation.
Well, and they saw her take his smoothie,
and they're now like dinging her.
They're downvoting Lacey because she was nice to the bad guy. We don't like him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So after all of that, I mean, she goes, and the thing is, in this episode, her lease is coming due, basically.
Right.
She is living at home has this apartment with her brother, and she has this, they have like just about 3 or 4 weeks left on their lease, and she has to find another place because her brother basically says, "Listen, I've got a place to go. One of my gaming buddies has got an extra room. I'm going to go move in with him, and you're on your own to go find whatever." So she goes to this wonderful looking place. It's a
lifestyle experience.
It's a lifestyle, yeah. And basically it's a lifestyle living, and the homes are all cookie cutter and they're perfect.
Right.
And
it's a little condo.
Yeah.
And there's a on-site hairstylist and restaurants.
Yeah.
So they're only, and all the stuff is only available to residents.
Yeah. And you have to be, or you don't have to be. You it helps you to be a 4.5 or above, because if not, if you're a 4.2, you don't get as good a discount or as good a rate.
Just to give you guys an idea, she meets with the real estate agent, and they look at the place, and she's in love. She loves the place. She loves the amenities and all the extras. And she sits at the real estate agent and says, "How much are the payments?"
So
and the real estate agent goes, well, you're a 4.2, so it's this. And she
just
flips the
kinda shows
tablet
her,
around and shows her the tablet. And she goes,
Ooh, how
often are those?
She's like, oh, weekly.
That's a week.
Yeah.
And Lacey like flips out. Her jaw hits the table, and the real estate agent, oh, is that more than you were thinking? Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah. So she says,
well, if all you got to do is qualify for our,
it's like Super Saver program of being a 4.5.
like our Prime Influencers program or something like that.
So 4.5 is what you need to.
And you got to be and she's like, oh, do I qualify? And the
she's
real
like,
estate, no, you have to
yet.
be a 4.5.
Yeah. So at that point, she's like, okay, I can do this. And she goes out to, I guess, a consultant to where,
reputation consultants or something like that.
And they like look at her profile. They look at who she interacts with. They look at the trend line of her interactions and her likes or whatever.
Right. They pull up like her history and see that she's got a steady upward trend.
Yeah. And so they look at all of these things and they're like, so yeah, we think 4.5 is very attainable. And she's like, how quick can this possibly happen? And they're like, we're thinking probably 18 months. And she's like, oh, I need something a lot quicker than that. And so then they start dialing in. Okay, if you need your numbers to go up this amount, then you need to start having meaningful interactions with someone outside your like inner circle, your core people that you always interact with. Right. And they need to be and it was high quality interactions with people that are also in the upper numbers.
Right. Well, it was because all of her core friend group, her inner circle, as they called it, were all mid 3s to low 4s.
Right.
And so they were telling her, like, if you want to go up, you need to find high 4s to give you high ratings.
Yes.
Because that's the fastest way to get up is to have higher rated people rate you high. And that by association, if high rated people like you, you must be a high rated person.
Right.
So it like boosts you on the tide
exponentially.
Right.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I can do this. And she leaves. And at that point she has to figure out, okay, how do I interact with these people?
Right. How do I get these people to like me?
Yes. And it just so happens that she gets a phone call. She's been browsing a profile for a while because this little girl has
stalking her.
Kind of, yeah. This girl, the girl's profile that she's stalking is like, she's like a 4.8.
Yep.
And so she gets like, it just so happens that out of the blue, this girl calls her.
Well, she goes on. She goes on Naomi's profile and upvotes like every picture of 5.
She does.
And she starts commenting and leaving and voting.
And then she takes a picture just out of random. She has this doll that she made called Mr. Rags.
Yeah.
And she sets it over by her little flower pot. She takes a picture with her little phone and uploads it. And it immediately starts getting likes, a couple of them. Mm-hmm. And that night, Naomi calls her and is like, hey, it's been a long time since we've talked. We were really good friends, and I would really, really, all of these good things are happening. I've got this house, and look at this giant ring. And she's like, she was like freaks out because, this thing is like the size of a golf ball on her finger.
Right.
So she's getting married, and Naomi wants her to be her maid of honor and make a speech. And of course she's like, and she's like, well, listen, there's going to be a lot of people. There are going to be hundreds of people there. And she says, I'll send you the guest list. So she sends her the guest list. And when she scrolls through it, she sees these are all high 4 people, like 4.5s and ups.
Hundreds of them.
So if she can nail this speech, in her mind, she's going, if I can nail this speech and I can get these people to like me, then my numbers are going to go through the roof.
Exactly.
So she accepts, and immediately, she's like, oh God, what am I going to do? So she starts.
Well, now the wedding is a month off.
Yeah.
At this point.
Right. So she's already kind of freaking out. She has to go back and speak with the consultant again and say, well, will this work? And he's like, holy crap. Yeah, that's a heck of a list.
Yeah.
He's like impressed. So he's like, yeah, this would definitely do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, So
it cuts to her writing and rehearsing her speech. So similarly to when you see her standing in front of a mirror, fake laughing, and then just going immediately stone faced, you see like this wall behind her. The entire wall is
it's like showing
a
pictures
photo
from her
collage,
from her
and
childhood.
it's showing like all these pictures of these two girls together.
Yeah.
And she's talking, and she gets to this story about being at art camp when she was so many years old, and she was alone and scared, and this nice girl came up and started talking to her, and oh my God, she was so nice, and the tears start rolling down. And then she finishes her speech, and she's like, so how was that?
Yeah, she's like, goes back stoic again, and like her brother is sitting there, and he's like, you are an effing psychopath.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically, he's like, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. This is like a train wreck, like running into a train wreck. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So they kind of fight back and forth about all of this, and he basically calls her out on it. Oh, the only reason you're doing this is so you can boost your numbers. And she's like, well, the thing is we were friends. And he's like, no, that's not what this is at all.
Yeah.
You want to boost your numbers. You want to get out there in front of these people and impress them so you can get this apartment in this community and live this fake life where there's fake smiles on every corner and everything is fake. He's
like, you want to be a Stepford woman.
Yeah. Basically, and so they fight.
And he's like, she was never your friend anyway. She cut your hair and
she's like, well, I asked her to.
And she did something else.
And then she screwed like, Greg.
Yeah, and then he's like, she fucked Greg.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, she didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, they are like at each other's throats pretty much fighting. And at that point, I guess that's when her taxi cab shows up, right?
Yeah. So this is fast forward to like the day before the wedding.
Like literally the day before the wedding.
And this is when they're having this big fight. He refuses to.
Oh, wait. So before this, though, like a couple of weeks before this, she calls the real estate and goes ahead and gives a deposit for the new place.
Right.
Says that she wants it. So, and it's non-refundable. It's basically she's got this apartment. So if this works, great. If it doesn't work, she's screwed.
Yeah, she can't afford this place, basically.
No, not at all. So, so they fight. Her car shows up. She leaves.
Well, her first car shows up, gets tired of waiting and leaves.
Right.
And downvotes her.
Yes.
And she's like, great.
Yeah.
Now I've missed my car and I've gotten a ding and it's your fault.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
So
now I've got to call another car.
Yep.
So the second car shows up and she's like, my car is here. I've got to go. And he's screaming at her and she's screaming at him. And you hear the car horn outside. Beep, beep, beep.
Yep.
And she's like, I've got to go. I can't miss two. And she grabs her suitcase and walks out the door. And as she's getting in the car, you hear, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Well, she's not even gets to the car. She has to come back in and get Mr. Rags, too, because she forgets him on the counter.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then when she gets out, she's walking out past like the edge of the down the sidewalk and runs into a girl, another lady, and like makes her spill coffee or wine or something like that on her. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And as the lady turns around, she's like, really? And she downvotes her there as well. Right. And then she gets to the car, or she's walking to the car, and you hear do again. She looks back, and it's her brother that's downvoted her. So she does the same thing to him.
Right.
And so, I mean, at that point, numbers are starting to go from 4.3 issues, which is where I think she had made it up to, starting to fall back down.
Right. And they get to the airport.
Yep.
She gets out of the taxi cab, and she's like, "Thank you, I've left your tip." And you hear do.
Yeah, basically he gives her like 1 star, and she's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, it wasn't meaningful. Wasn't a meaningful interaction, or something like that."
Well, no, he downvoted her because he had to wait,
and he had to listen to her
bitching about her brother. And
and talking to Nene about all of
and Nene calls while they're on the way to the airport, and she's screaming and squalling, and the cab driver is looking in his rear mirror. He's like, "Oh, shut up,
God, yeah." So anyway, gets to the airport, gets in line. She gets up to the counter, and she lays her little phone down in the little spot so it reads all of the data. Yep. And the clerk there says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This flight has been canceled." At that point, she's like, "Oh, no. That can't be. I I'm in a wedding. I have to be on a flight.
Right.
What do you have available? And she's like, well, she kind of types for a second. She looks around and she goes, I'm not seeing anything. Everything is full. And she's like, everything? Like every flight is full? So she does end up finding, she's like, oh, I have one seat on standby, but it's in our, what was it, like Elite Flyers Club or something like that.
Right.
And
you have to be
a 4.2 to get this seat. She goes, oh, well, I am a 4.2. And the lady behind the counter says, no, sweetheart, you are a 4.18.
Yeah.
So the things that had happened to her just that afternoon had pushed her just below
the cutoff for the
cutoff
4.2
for the seat that she needed to be on, which meant now she's not eligible.
Right. She can't, no flights. It's not even standby.
She
goes, can you call a supervisor?
The first crack in the mirror you start to see.
Yeah.
And
she says, can you call a supervisor?
And the lady's like, no, I can't.
Can you please call a supervisor?
No, I can't. And she's like,
can you just fucking help me?
Exactly. And then she goes, that's profanity, and we have a zero tolerance policy on profanity. Security. And she calls security. Security comes over, or is on their way over, and she's like, no, don't call security here. I'm giving you a 5-star rating. Yep. And the people around her are like dinging her.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. So at that point, security shows up, and
he's like, what's the problem?
Yeah, and she's like, no problem here. And the lady behind the desk, she's like, profanity and something. It was like profanity,
threatening behavior or something like that.
And so security at that point dings her an entire numeral. Like she goes from like a 4.1 down to a 3.1, and he puts her in double damage mode for 24 hours. So anything that she gets downvoted on counts twice, double that amount for her.
Right. And then he looks at her with a big, huge smile on his face and says, I need you to remove yourself from the airport immediately.
Yeah, I mean, everything is so pleasant.
That's right.
You got to go. So at this point, she has a dilemma. How do I get to this wedding? Because at this point, she's still, hey, I'm going to make it. I can still get there.
Yep.
And the only way I'm going to do this is I've got to rent a car and drive through the night to get there.
Yep.
So that's what she does. She goes up to Hertz Rent-A-Car, and
there's a huge line of people.
Yeah, except for the ones that are in the fast line that are 4.0s or above.
Yeah, there's like one person there or no people. I can't remember.
Yeah, and they get like the new model of cars as well. Right. So she ends up.
She gets to the window and he goes, "Oh, you're a 3.1.
Yeah,
you only qualify for our budget line."
Yeah, which is like a whatever Model 2 or Generation 2, and she's like, they still make 2s.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe you can still even have those.
Yeah.
So she gets in this old crappy electric car because all the cars in this future are electric.
Yep.
And it's got a HUD display on the windshield, and she's picking around, and
everything's in like Russian.
I don't know what language that was.
Slavic language.
Yeah, the car is talking in the foreign language. All the text on the screen is in this foreign language. She obviously can't read it. She finally gets it started.
Yeah, and takes off.
It takes off.
So she's rolling through the night. She's like, and Nene calls her. Yeah. And she's like, hey, where are you at? And she's like, well.
She's like, yeah, your plane landed, or you're late. Where are you?
And she's like, well, the flight was canceled and I had to rent a car, but I'm still going to make it. I'm driving through the night. And she's like, can you even, that's like 9 hours. Can you even do it? She's like, yes, I'm just going to make it a road trip. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, all right. So at that point, like all of her, like the bachelorette party is going on. All of her friends show up, and they basically she cuts off, and there's no upvote after even she upvoted that conversation.
Yeah. Naomi doesn't upvote her back.
Right. So she's driving through the night. At some point, middle of the night-ish, she hears an alarm going off in the car.
And the car says like, "Lindo."
Yeah, and basically battery is almost depleted.
Right.
So she pulls into a service station to recharge. It's a second generation, and all of the chargers are like fourth generation. Yeah. And they're like...
So she's got like a mini USB, and all their chargers are USB-C.
Yes. So she's like trying to plug it in, and it doesn't fit, doesn't even come close, and she's like, ugh. So she goes up to the clerk at the window, and she was like, hey, do you have a charger that will fit a Generation 2? And he was like, no. He looks around, and she's like, well, that's what I've got. And he's like, wait a minute, they didn't give you one at the rental? And she's like, no. So he's like, sorry, ask around.
Yeah, ask around and see if somebody's got one.
Yeah, so she gives him his 5-star rating for trying to help.
Yeah.
And he gives her a 1-star rating. And she's like, really? And he's like, wasn't a meaningful interaction.
Yeah.
At that point. So
he goes back to watching his porno.
Yeah, on his phone. So she goes from car to car asking.
And you could see the people in the cars look at her and like
they're like
cower away from her.
Yeah, because she's kind of looking psycho at this point.
Well, and she's only a 3.
Right. Because when they look at her,
you can't interact with a 3.
Right. So she finally gets to a point where she's asked everyone. She goes over and she's just sitting and waiting. I guess she's just kind of going through a thought process. What do I do now? How do I get out of this situation?
Yep.
Grabs her bag and she ends up going to hitchhike.
Yep.
And
I can still make it. I can hitchhike.
Exactly. And going down the road, she's trying to stop people. And like there's even one interaction inside the car, and they're like, the wife is like, stop. She looks like she needs help. And the husband's like, no, she's a 3.1. She's on her own.
Yeah.
And they like zoom on past her.
Yeah. They slow down until he can see her rating. And then he's like, no. She's only a 3.
So as she's walking, eventually there's a truck that pulls up. So the lady opens the door and she's like, hey, you look like you need a ride. Right. And when Lacey looks up, Lacey looks up at her, or 1.4,
I think.
So 1.4. And she's like, oh no, I'm okay. I'll just walk. And she's like, it's okay. Come on. You need a ride. Where are you going? And
she's like, you're out in the middle of nowhere. Who are you kidding? You're not walking.
Yeah. So she ends up getting in the truck with this lady and, very covertly browsing through her profile. And she's like, what are you doing? Checking for like, red flags because I'm a 1.4. And she's like, ah. And she's like, listen, when you start to shed all of that, then you're going to feel a lot better. And she tells her this story about her life. She's like, I used to be just like you. You remind me a lot of you. And she's like, really? And she's like, Lacey's like, really? She's like, yes.
Susan is the truck driver's name.
Susan?
Yeah.
Okay, so Susan is like, she tells her that at one time she was a 4.6.
Mm-hmm.
And Lacey's like, what? A 4.6? And she goes, yeah. I was a 4.6. She said, I used to run the numbers like crazy. I used to be a slave to all of that. She said, but here's the thing. My husband, he ended up with pancreatic cancer. When he was having treatments done, I 5-starred every person that walked in the room to get my numbers up. And eventually we came to a point where they were going to give him a special treatment. It was like a trial treatment. And she said what happened was she was a 4.6, he was a 4.3, and they gave his bed to a 4.4, and he ends up dying. So
well, and her thing too was like, you know what? Cancer don't give a shit what your rating is.
It doesn't. The cancer kept growing, kept moving, kept doing what it does.
Right.
So at that point, she was like, it's stupid. She goes, so I started telling people what I thought. And I found out really quickly, a lot of my friends don't like truth. And so her numbers went from 4.6 down to 1.4. But man, she was feeling a lot better. I mean, she really, you could tell that, like, just looking at that character versus Lacey's character.
Looking at Susan versus Lacey, even in the beginning of the show, Lacey was just wound like a spring ready to snap.
Yeah. And then
Susan's just laid back. Hey, honey, how you doing?
Yeah. I mean, it is daylight and dark. Yeah. These two characters.
Now, one thing we skipped over that I do want to bring in because it kind of shows the import of all this.
Okay.
So the guy that brought the smoothies, the next day, Lacey comes back to work. We skipped this pretty quick. So
he couldn't get in the door.
He couldn't get in the building because his number had gone too low. He had lost his job because his rating from other people was too low.
Yes. Yeah.
So, some of the other stuff we're talking about, like the car rental and the bus and the plane ticket and stuff. But I mean, it can seriously impact your life. Like this guy lost his employment because of his numbers. So, all right, so back to we're in the truck. We're with Susan. We're going down the road.
Yeah. So, she's going down the road, and eventually she gets to a point where Susan's like, or she's asleep, and Susan's like, "Listen, I've got to head this other direction. Yeah. You're only about 30 miles from the place where you're going. So, you can catch a bus from here."
Yeah. And a lot of buses run through here.
And I just so happen to leave you a little something in your suitcase if you need it. And
call it an escape hatch.
Yeah, call it an escape hatch. Yeah, that's pretty much what she said. So at that point, they part ways.
Yep.
So we follow Lacey at that point, trying to find a ride 30 miles on into the wedding.
The wedding. Yep.
And she ends up in a restroom. And she overhears...
Right. It's kind of like a rest area looking kind of place.
She overhears some people. These two girls come in and they're talking about a television show, kind of a Star Trek-y type thing, where they're dressing up and they're going to a convention.
Yeah, they're on their way to a con.
Yeah. And so she, overhearing this, it is in the spot where she's going, this island that she's going to, and she was like, "Ooh, I can manipulate this situation. I can get on that." So you can see the wheels turning.
Yep. And
she goes and she starts like researching that show.
And she comes out of her stall and she's like, "Are you guys going to?" Because both of the other girls are in full costume.
Yeah.
And she looks at them and she's like, "Are you guys going to such and such con?" And they say, "Yeah, we're going." "Oh, I'm trying to get there, but my dad, he doesn't understand, and we had a big fight, and my friend is already there, and she's got my costume. Yeah. And is there any way I could hitch a ride?"
And they're like, we got plenty of room in the RV.
We got plenty of room in the RV. Come on with us. So she gets in, they get on the road.
The looks that she gets in the RV though are like priceless, dude.
Yeah. All the people in the RV are in like these metallic suits with green paint on their skin and giant pink hair and all this stuff, and she's just wearing a dress. Yeah. And all these people are staring at her like, "You weirdo." And she's talking about her friend and we're, I'll be there in a minute.
And Naomi calls.
And then Naomi calls and she's like, "This is my friend."
Yeah.
"Hold on a minute." And she talks to Naomi and Naomi's like, "Look, I don't know where you are. You're too late.
Don't come.
I've got another person that's going to do the maid of honor thing. Just forget it."
Yeah.
And Lacey's, no. I'm on my way right now. I'll be there.
I'll be there in just a
few minutes. And
at that
Naomi's
point,
just like, "Nope, we're done. Hang up."
And no, here's the thing. Naomi's like, "You are a 3.2. Whenever I asked you..."
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
whenever
that.
I asked you to do this, you were a 4.3. She goes, "And I can't have she was even lower than that, 2.8 or something."
Yeah, she was like a 2.8.
She's like, "I cannot have..."
Because a bunch of people were down voting her for hitchhiking.
Yeah. She's like, "I can't have a 2.8 anywhere close to this." She goes, "A 4.3, whenever we ran the numbers, it looked good for us to help have a 4.3 because that looks sincere, like someone from your past that you just, that you are a buddy with, that you care for, even though they're not in the greatest of shape. And when we ran the numbers, you were going to help us out so much." And she's like, and you can see on her face was like, wait, I'm getting played.
Yeah, Lacey's like, "I can't believe."
Yeah.
And Lacey says like, "I can't believe that you were just using me to raise your numbers up."
She goes, "You were doing the same thing. You were playing the numbers game too." So
she's like, "I sent you that guest list full of high fours and you were all about it."
Yep. So basically she's like, "Oh, I'm coming. I will be there." And at that point, Nene hangs up.
Yep. And Lacey's on this bus.
And she's like, "By the way, I've never seen your stupid show." So off the RV she comes.
Yep. She's sitting on the side of the road and she's getting desperate. Yep. And she just runs out into traffic, like flailing her arms, like, "Just stop the car." Yep. And people are laying on their horn and swerving around her.
And downvoting her.
Downvoting her like crazy. And she just finally, she gives up. She sits down. She opens her suitcase, and what's in there? What did Susan give her?
She gave her the red thermos. There was a blue thermos and a red thermos. Blue thermos, blue and red. Yeah, blue thermos is black coffee. Red thermos is whiskey.
There you go.
So she gave her the red thermos, and next scene that we see is good old Lacey putting bubbles in that thing, buddy. She's got it turned up.
Yep. She's getting a little sauced. She's stumbling down the interstate.
And she eventually overhears, I guess, the sound of like an ATV.
Yeah. You hear like a high whine engine like that.
And she goes off to the side and she goes and finds this guy that's riding like in the dirt there on a four-wheeler. And she's like, hey, can I borrow your bike? And then we see her with the helmet on a four-wheeler on the interstate heading toward, and she gets to
wearing a bridesmaid dress.
No, not yet. Not yet. She's not got the bridesmaid
not yet. Okay.
So she gets to like the gate of this community. And if you are not a 4
or higher or something.
4.0 or above, you are not
strictly enforced.
Strictly enforced. No one lower than 4.0. So she has to find another way in. And she does. She goes around till she eventually rides the ATV down to a point where she ends up in the mud, like in this
the ATV crashes
area.
And she falls off into the mud.
And then she goes up to the edge, gets to the fence there. You can see that she's going to try to climb over it. And the next scene we see her is she is in the bridesmaid dress. So she's changed clothes. And her makeup has ran all down her face. Like she's got like mascara plump. Yeah. And her hair is disheveled and the dress is half hanging off. And she's
muddy.
And she's sneaking around kind of trying to make her way into this wedding.
Right. And she finally sees everybody. She hears people on the PA system congratulating the bride and groom and way to go.
I think the best man is making his speech or finishing up his speech.
Yeah, the best man is finishing his speech. Big round of applause. She sees everybody and she knows that's where she's got to go.
Yeah, and she walks over and finds herself a mic.
As she's stumbling through into the crowd, Naomi sees her and grabs her new husband and is like, you got to get this girl out of here. Yeah. She's crazy.
Yeah. Of course, the husband is like, no, I think I want to watch this.
Well, the husband says, what do you want me to do? Tackle her? That's not going to get our numbers any good.
Right. So, I mean, it's all a numbers game. Even the bride and groom, it's a numbers game.
Yeah. So, Naomi finally weasels her way into the crowd and grabs a mic. She's got the microphone.
She's going to give her speech.
She starts giving her speech, talking about growing up in the art camp and the 8-year-old scared and all this stuff and boo hoo hoo and they wind up the whole time security's like
she ends
coming
up saying
in
something
on her.
Like screw the environment or something like that.
Well, the whole time security's like coming in on her and she looks around and she finally sees this big cake knife.
Yes.
And she grabs it up and she's like brandishing it like she's gonna stab them with it and keeping everybody at bay while she's making her speech. And then eventually she just had it and she's
just going off.
Well, because I think Naomi says something directly to her. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. But at this point though, I mean everything has come unwound.
Yeah. I mean she's just completely crashed.
Yeah. And it's just sheer desperation.
Yeah.
And she gets tackled and ends up being carried away.
Yeah. And she winds up in jail.
Yeah, and they zap her eyes and take away the thing where she can see the numbers, and she ends up in a cell, and across from her is another person in a cell, and she, instinctually, her hand goes up and starts swiping as if there's a phone there, or that little touchpad there, but it's not, and because she's looking at this person, try to figure out what their number is.
Right. And, or their profile or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, what? What are you llooking at? And she's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. He goes, well, I don't like your brassiere.
Because she had taken off the bridesmaid dress and she's just wearing her undergarments.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't like your brassiere. And she's like, well, I don't like your face or your hair. And he's like, well, I don't like your face. And she's like, well, I don't like your whole head. And they just kind of go back and forth.
And they keep insulting each other a little more. And they're both smiling while they're doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like, it's like cathartic. They're just like, it's like this release for both of them.
Right.
And
they've been so fake polite and nice for so long that.
And they like the whole episode ends with them just basically screaming at one another.
Right.
And that's the end of the episode. It's like, after I sat and watched this thing, and I watched it yesterday, I was like, okay, that society is kind of scary because that could happen. Something similar to that could happen because every one of us has Facebook. I mean, if you want to see what we post, go to facebook.com/twomindspodcast.
Right.
I mean, we have it's
Give us a like.
Yeah, give us a like.
Get our numbers up.
That's what we're asking. So it's one of those things where the parallels between this episode and what could really be is scary. It's very scary.
Right. And now I know there's people out there that are going, there's a big difference between Facebook and what you guys were just talking about.
True.
And that's true. There is a big difference between Facebook and what we were just talking about. But I told you that we would talk about how some of this technology exists currently and how it's implemented. So that's it for the episode. Now let's talk about where this technology is at and how it exists currently.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are probably thinking
Facebook
and all that. And no, we're not talking about Facebook.
No, it's not Facebook because
It's not Facebook.
Here's the thing. Facebook is purely social media. I mean, it's if you want to know something about a person as far as a profile goes, you can go and look that kind of stuff up. You can like them, but it really doesn't have any kind of social influence on them.
Right. And what we were talking about in the episode is all social based. So it was all interactions with other people, and then those people vote you up or down.
Rated you.
So that's one difference. Now, what we're going to talk about now is a real thing that's going on right now in the world in China.
Yeah.
It's a thing called Zima credit, and it's ZHIMA, not like the
old
alcoholic
drink.
beverage. And this is from a subsidiary of the Chinese version of Amazon, which is called Alibaba.
Right.
What is the Zima credit? Well, it started off as kind of like just a credit agency, sort of like TransUnion or Experian or Equifax or something like that. And what this was a way for people, because in China, it's a communist country. There really was no way before this. So this was a way for people to establish that they were trustworthy, that they were reliable financial people. And it quickly developed, specifically the Zima credit was a phone app. It tied into everything, and it got to be where you could do pretty much a lot of things with this phone app.
Everything from purchases to likes, to creating lists, to doing all of these things. But you could, I mean, it was kind of like you had all of this, but there was like a cloud that it was all tied to.
Right. And so what the key distinction I want to make first off is that in the show, everything is socially based. Everything is based off of, in China, in real life, this is a corporation that runs this and determines.
So it's more market based.
Right. And the scary part is the way everything is set up in China, Alibaba has pretty direct ties to the government.
Right.
And so the government is able to exert some influence over these rating systems. Some influence. Well, I mean, Alibaba swears that this is that it's not controlled by the government.
Well, they can say that though, and they're not. However, when you have a government that can influence the business, they're going to influence it as much as they can. This system was implemented in 2014. In 2014, when this thing started, it started off fairly small. It started off with rating what you purchased and the things that you did in the market, like you were saying, to help to boost your rating, to boost your score, to say, okay, this person, if they wanted to get, like, say, a credit card, or if they wanted to get like premium tickets to a sporting event or something like that, it could push them to the front of the line for those things. So they were able to do this, and they started this system started like like I say, it started gathering data on everyone that was hooked up to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody, and this was a completely voluntary process. Like, you had to go get the app and download the app and submit your information. This wasn't like some government mandate that all citizens had to do this. This was just a totally voluntary process. People were flocking to it.
Right.
And there was another system called Alipay, which is the
kind of like Google Pay or
it's basically a precursor almost to Google Pay, because this was set up in 2013, 2014, and a lot of the stuff with the Alibaba is based off of the story,
right?
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. So a lot of their names are similar or tied to that folklore. Like Zima is the Chinese word for sesame.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
cool.
Zima, sesame, Alibaba, open sesame, right?
Ah, nice.
So it's all
that?
tied into that. WeChat Pay was the precursor to Alipay. Was started in 2013. Started using QR codes. And a QR code, if you don't know, is basically like a fancy square barcode that looks like a digitized print. There's not the bar lines. It's like
it's a bunch of little boxes,
and they're in a square pattern. I'm sure you've seen them somewhere. Yeah. The first year with this QR scanning system and WePay Chat, Alipay mobile payments reached nearly $70 billion.
Okay, that's insane.
Yeah, and this was in 2013.
Right. So what is it today? You know what I'm saying?
Well, those numbers are in here too somewhere. But the thing that blows my mind is, everybody thinks that, like, America leads the world. How many people here use their phone to pay for anything?
I mean, that's out
realistically,
there. Not a
people,
whole lot,
people
but
do.
I mean, yeah, but it's not as nearly as much as say, as what this is. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is today in China, almost no one carries cash. Yeah. And I mean, that's similar here, but we all have cards.
Right.
They use their phones for everything. You go to the gas station, Alipay. You need a taxi, Alipay.
Go to McDonald's.
You go to McDonald's, Alipay.
Yeah.
Everything takes Alipay. You just hold your phone up, beep, you pay.
It's done. Yeah.
That's it. So it's worked its way. It's pretty much every aspect of life for most people over there. And, it's kind of like Amazon here would be the closest equivalent that we would readily understand.
Goes, yes. So here's the thing, though. Okay, we've got all of that, and it's doing this. Okay, so they're using this phone app to pay for pretty much anything and everything all throughout society. But there is this rating system that they are using through this system. And there's real-world consequences to this rating system that they are now using. There was one article that I pulled up that I was reading where it was talking about depending on what you buy, when you buy it, it will either boost or it'll ding your rating. One of the things the examples that they gave was a person goes out and buys a couple of video games. The system sees that person as, well, they must be a little bit on the lazy side because they're buying video games and they're just going to sit at home playing video games. Whereas another person goes out and buys diapers and formula, they go, oh, they're a parent. They're taking care of a child. So they must be a better person in society for doing this. So it rates them based on the purchases that they make. Now, this also opens up other aspects, whereas like what you were talking about earlier, the guy that couldn't get in the building because he lost his job. Mm-hmm. Depending on your rating through this system, certain jobs are either open to you or they are not. There is certain, even like certain services, like buying first class tickets on an airplane. If you have a high enough rating in that system, then you could purchase those or not. There are schools that was limited. If you are not using this system and you're not rated high enough, then you wouldn't have access to this education level. It was like the list of things that they said that they had in there that were real world application of this system working its way either for or against someone was phenomenal. Right. It was huge.
Yeah. So what we're talking about right now is the Alipay, which started in 2013, and their new system of rating people that they started into, which is similar to our credit rating system here.
Right.
In 2014, the Chinese government issued the planning outline for the construction of a social credit system 2014 to 2020. This plan was designed to increase the amount of trust in Chinese society.
Right. Based on your rating.
Based on your ratings. Because in China, apparently, there's a huge problem with scams and frauds. Like, it's a big thing. And they have a word that they use that I saw a couple times, but now I can't find it. But basically, if you try to go to somebody's house, they're basically, the first thing they want to know is, how do I know you're not a scam artist? Like, that's where their level of trust is in the country, is not like, somebody comes up trying to sell me a vacuum cleaner. It's like, I got a vacuum. I don't need it. Thanks. Not, are you a scam?
Yeah.
Are you a scammer? That's not my initial reaction, but apparently that is a very common thing there.
Huh.
So the government wants to come up with this plan of, a way to rate people so if this person is trustworthy or not, which sounds good in theory.
In theory.
But China has a very long history of this type of system. They call it the Dangan. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's a Chinese word. I don't know. But it's very similar to like what the Nazis used to do in keeping these detailed records on individuals.
Yeah.
And so they've been doing this for years and years and years. This isn't new, but this is the Dangan, or however you say that word, was like a paper record kept on you. So basically you had to do something worthy of being written down first.
Right.
And then they have the Hukao, which was a household record for like your entire family as a collective unit. They've used these lists for decades to control travel and stuff, especially in across the country borders.
Basically, your family name, if it's good, you get certain things. If it's not, it's the whole honor system that they keep over there.
Yeah. And other things happen. So a few different places have started their own initiatives. The city of Rongcheng assigned each resident a starting score of 1,000 points. And then based from that score, they would either deduct points for stuff like traffic violations, jaywalking, anything like that you get caught doing.
Yep.
Or you could earn points by doing things like volunteering, donating money to charity, things like that. If you're a really good citizen, if you get your number up really high, you get your picture outside of town hall. If you're a really bad citizen, they start doing things like you probably aren't going to get a good government job, other things that they kind of limit you to.
Isn't there also public shaming that they do?
Not here. That's another initiative in a different place.
Okay.
But yeah, the system was designed to try to be objective about it, but people are people. So,
right. And then something too, so before you go any further with this, here's the thing that one of the thoughts that I had when reading over these 3 or 4 articles and watching this episode of this manipulation of this system, people manipulating them, because like you say, people are going to be people. Who's to say that someone isn't going to go out there, they're going to buy a video game and then they're going to go buy 2 or 3 packs of diapers, throw them in the trash as they leave, and boost their score, just trying to work the system the same way that Lacey was trying to work the system in this episode. You know what I mean? This system, even though it is it has to be broken.
Well, now I'm talking about the government, the Rongcheng system.
Okay.
Not the Zima credit system.
Okay.
Because the system that they're using in Rongcheng is just, you have to be documented doing this thing or doing that thing publicly. Like, so it's not. Now the Zima credit system is a little different, but it's not completely separate from the government social credit system.
Okay.
Even though they claim that it's not controlled by the government. So Alibaba is one of 8 companies that was given a license to pilot these alternative credit measures, these credit score measures. But the government maintains these lists that they have had for decades, and now Alibaba and Zima has access to those. So they use those when they're factoring in to your system.
So basically it's a multi-tiered system. I mean, it's one of those things where even though you've just been using Alibaba now for the last 4 years, realistically, there's a couple of decades or more of history that they now can pull from.
Right.
Which creates this entire social picture of you or your family. And I mean, how that weighs in on what you do and what you have access to is crazy. It's one of those things where you have to look and say, okay, so the system itself it needs to have some sort of objectivity about it, but it doesn't, because this whole system is based around, I don't know, social, I don't even want to say norms, but just this crazy rating system. I mean, it's to me, it blows my mind. Just the thoughts of this.
Yeah. So you were asking a little earlier about the scale.
Right.
So today, I mean, not specifically this date, but in relative terms, in current time, $5.5 trillion were made via mobile payments in China.
See, that's insane. But now again,
to contrast, in the United States, $112 billion
in mobile pay. But now here's the thing, though: if you were to take those numbers though and go, okay, yeah, that's right. But what about if you were to take into context our credit card swipes or our debit card swipes?
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying. So this mobile pay system is all controlled pretty much by Alibaba.
Okay.
$5 trillion worth of payments have gone through Alibaba. That's like saying,
basically saying, Discover card, we're going to give you the entire bankroll of the United States, and everything's going to come through you guys.
Well, I'm going to make it even better, because I'm going to tie it to something that we can kind of understand here. Okay, so first off, Alibaba started doing the mobile payment system and Zima credit.
Okay.
So, and then now they've integrated in to where you can add your friends in Zima. Zima app now has a friends thing, so you can chat with your friends and keep up with them and post pictures and all this stuff on there. And so there's all these other new avenues. Alibaba itself is basically China's version of Amazon. That's where it started.
Okay.
So now, if you will, imagine if in this country, Amazon, Facebook, and Google were all the same company.
And controlled pretty much everything. Oh, my Lord.
And
that's the truth of it, though, isn't it?
That's kind of what Alibaba is in China.
Yeah.
It's basically Amazon, Facebook, and Google all in one company, and they have access to all the data.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, but imagine if anything you bought from Amazon, you had to pay with Amazon's app.
Right. It's like,
and then everybody else was like, that's easy. That's quick. We'll just use that app to process our transactions too. So now Amazon not only has access to all your purchase history for everything you buy from them, they have every time you buy gas, every time you buy groceries, every time you buy anything from anywhere, because everybody pays with their phone.
Yeah.
So this is the level of data that we're talking about that this company has access to.
It's scary. It's insane scary.
Right. And now they track your friends because they can look and see who your friends are in their app. And just like in Nosedive, a direct quote from a Chinese person: if your friends are all high score people, it's good for you. If you have some bad credit people as friends, it's not nice.
See, that's what I'm saying. The social aspect of this is so scary. So scary.
Right. So the guy that wrote this article that I'm reading from right now from Wired Magazine, Dan Winters, went back to China. He lived in China for 10 years before all this stuff happened. He went back recently after this happened. And he opened up a Zima credit account because that's pretty much how
you have to have.
That's what you have to pay in China. And they've got a big like rent a bike system nationally.
Yeah.
That's pretty popular. So he went to rent a bicycle. Because he had no established credit, he had to pay a $30 deposit just to rent a bike.
Because he didn't have the score.
Because his score wasn't high enough.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That crazy stuff right there.
Yeah, Piancy. That's their word for
Scammers.
scammer. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's insane.
Yeah.
The thing that really, like I said, the one that really got me was whenever it was talking about all of those things that it limits you to, or that you're limited, or that you're restricted from, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Well, okay, so hold on just a second. So some of the perks you can get for having a high enough Zima score. Now, again, this is Zima. This is not the government.
Right.
If you're over 750, you can skip the security check at Beijing Airport. Exactly. I mean, it's just, how does that even work?
Right.
The Zima Credit general manager has told reporters that they hope to obtain a list of students who cheat so that fraud could become a blight on their Zima credit records. See,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, anything that you do, if it's hooked into this system, It is literally this episode that we saw, the social rating. It's social currency is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the scary part to me. So I'm just reading from the article again, Dan Winters from Wired, because of what I was talking about with like the integration of everything.
Yeah.
Alipay knows that at 1 p.m. on August 26th, he rented a bike outside Shanghai's former French concession, rode it to Jing'an Temple. It knows at 1:24 p.m. he bought a snack in the mall next to the temple. It knows that afterwards he got a DD car, which is like a taxi, into a neighborhood to the northwest. Then at 3:11 p.m. he got out of the car and went into a supermarket. It knows, because Alibaba owns the supermarket, which only accepts Alipay, that at 3:36 he bought bananas, cheese, and crackers. It then knows that he got into a taxi and arrived at his destination at 4:01 p.m. It knows the identification number of the taxi that drove him. It knows that at 4:19 he paid $8 for an Amazon delivery for 3 hours. He spent in a swimming pool. It does not know where he was. Then it knows that he rented another bike outside his hotel, rode it for 10 minutes, parked it at 7:11 p.m. outside of a restaurant because the financial company is a strategic investor, and Ofo Alipay might even know, which is the company that owns the bike, they might even know the exact route he took.
Why not just upload a chip into your arm and link yourself to the satellite? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's weird. That's insane. Crazy insane. But right. I can see how it does it. I mean, if everything is done using your phone, there's GPS on your phone. So it knows your location. It's tracking every purchase that you made because you're making those purchases using this one app. So yeah, the only thing that it wouldn't know is if you left your phone in your hotel room and you went down and got in the pool for 3 hours and hung out down there and made no purchases whatsoever. You could have even walked a quarter of the way across town and back in those 3 hours, and it wouldn't have known necessarily where you were at. However, as soon as you grabbed your phone again, it would go, oh, here, I'm active again, and you're moving again. Yeah.
As soon as you try to pay for something or anything, they're going to know where you're going.
That's scary.
Now, the Zima credit system monitors your spending history and whether or not you pay your bills on time and you've paid your loans on time.
Right.
And that's the core of the system. But
basically a credit score.
Right. But then it veers into this weird stuff. Like there's a category in the app called connections that considers the scores of your contacts. It takes characteristics into consideration, like what kind of car you drive, where you're employed, where you go to school. It has a category called behavior that scrutinizes your consumer life. It zeroes in on specific purchases that they deem
such as video
games and things.
Yeah. See, that's crazy. That's what I'm talking about. So here's the thing. You've got if this system works at all over there are people that are absolutely scamming that system. They have to be. They have to be able to work the numbers, just the way that Lacey was trying to work the numbers in this episode.
Right. But this guy talks to a person who had a fairly high rating in Zima.
Right.
And just like the consulting agency told Lacey in the show, high rating people can smell that coming. They can see that, when they're trying to be worked because of their score. Even in China right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, people do it here with their credit scores too. People game the system. They take out loans that they don't need just to pay them back, just to establish credit.
True. This is true.
And there are other people that, because of all this stuff, they don't want it. They don't want Zima. They don't want their everything tracked. They don't want every minute of their day on record. And then it catches up to them in other ways because you've effectively become a second-class citizen because you have no history. You don't have a score. I don't know if I can trust you. You might be a Pianzi.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you start applying these things in real world, in real life.
And there's certain items that you can't access. You can't stay at certain hotels. You can't get in a certain bus. You can't go to this thing because you don't have a score because
you're not necessarily trustworthy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That it's crazy. That was the part of it that really, 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 really hit home with me because I was like, man, if that's the case, this system is set up to a point to where how could you ever kind of dig yourself out of it?
Well, you can't. And that's stated right here. It's very similar to that one bad day Lacey had. The way Zima credit system is designed, once you get on a list, it sends you rapidly into a downward spiral. First, your score drops. Then your friends hear that your score drops and fearful that you might drag their score down.
They drop
you as a friend.
And then that drops your score.
Then the algorithm notices that you're losing friends and that plummets you even further down. And it's just like a nonstop feedback loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's where it gets scary. That's where you really have someone that was a 4.7 and they become a 1.4. I mean, and really to nothing, to no account of their own other than they might have had a bad day.
Right. And so like you started talking earlier about some, and I kind of cut you off because I wanted to wait till the end to get to the real impacts that this could potentially have. And we've listed a couple of them. If your score is too low, you might not be able to fly.
Right.
Or get on a train.
Right. It limits your travel because your score is low enough that you are on either the no fly or the no travel list.
Right. It can even affect the speed of internet you're able to get.
Yep.
They can ban, like you said, they can ban you from certain schools.
Yep.
I mentioned that it can keep you out of employment at certain places.
Right.
You might not be able to stay at a certain hotel because your score is not bad enough. Here's what you were talking about in another area. They name and shame.
Yes.
Is what they call it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like digital billboards out there. And suddenly you're popped up on it and it's a picture of you jaywalking because a traffic camera caught you.
Yep.
And, it's got facial recognition software, so it knows who you are. It can ping your phone and say, oh, well, this is this person standing here at this. And then suddenly you're popped up on this billboard and say, hey, this person jaywalks. Mm-hmm. It may only be up there for 30 or 45 seconds, but that's enough for people to see it. And then it also goes into your score and then brings it down. So, yeah.
And it works the other way too. So if your score is high enough, you can get more matches on dating websites.
Oh, yeah, because you're a quality guy.
Yeah. You might be able to get a discount on your electric bill. You might be able to rent a bike without having to pay a deposit. You could get better interest rates at your bank.
Faster internet speeds.
Internet speeds.
You can get those business class tickets on the airplane, on a flight.
Exactly.
See,
and now this is all still in very early stages.
You say that, but here's the thing, too. This whole system is supposed to be fully implemented by 2020.
2020 is the plan.
So that's 2 years. That's a year and a half from now, realistically. Right. So it started 2013, 2014.
Well, Zima credit started. The social credit system, they outlined it in 2014. So they've been working on it for
this is 4.5 years now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If it's supposed to be fully implemented here in another year and a half.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
They're close.
Yeah. And they are affecting some things already.
Right. So where do we go from here?
I don't know.
I mean, if this model of society works in China, who's to say others won't adopt it? And here's something too that really just kind of scares me. When you stop and you step back and you look at the social impact that this has, and you say, you look at this and you go, okay, this category is going to make this person's score higher or this person's score lower. The algorithm itself, or whoever wrote that program, is effectively molding and shaping society.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And
that is extremely scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where, and I don't want to say in the political climate we're in, but in the social climate we're in, I should say. Because when I say that, it encompasses everything. We're not far away from someone swooping in and saying, "This is the greatest system," and even someone that is so crazy and so out there can get 30% of the nation behind them. And if they can do that, then other people can be swayed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, this sounds terrifying. Like this whole social credit system being able to impact your life and all that. But here are some people who live in China. A guy who only gave his name as Chen says that he feels like in the past 6 months, people's behavior has been getting better and better. For example, when driving, now they always stop in front of crosswalks because if you don't stop, you lose points. At first, we were only worried about losing points, but now we're used to it. And that's the creepy thing to me is it's just like not exactly like, but it's similar to the episode where she's fake laughing in the mirror to get her smile just right. It's not a sincere act. It's just doing it
because it helps your score.
Or just to avoid getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't matter why you do it. Maybe your motivations are irrelevant. Maybe the fact that people behave better in public is just all that matters. I don't know. I think it should be coming from a sincere place.
I agree. I can agree with that. I agree with that.
I don't know. The whole thing is just creepy. Like the entire process is just creepy to me. And the fact that this exists and will be like fully implemented within the next 2 years it's on a sixth of the world's population.
Yeah. It's insanely scary.
And stuff like this, I believe, and it's already starting to look that way, is going to lead to like a fractured internet. I honestly think it's already starting. It's just not to a point where people have really noticed yet. But I think basically China is going to have its own internet, and all these other places. North Korea is going to have their own internet.
So the interconnectivity of the world will kind of be broken into
and there's
subsects.
There's a term thrown around already. They're calling it the splinternet.
Huh. And I can see that. I mean, we know that there are governments out there that throttle and limit what their citizens.
Well, like China.
Yeah,
controls the media. Like they'll show C-SPAN on TV, but if a story starts running that contradicts government policy in China, the station just goes black for 4 minutes or however long the story's airing, and then miraculously comes right back on.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that kind of stuff for years.
But anyway, guys, we're running a little long. This was a really fun episode for me.
I enjoyed
Hopefully
this one,
you guys enjoyed it.
This was one of those where there's so much that can be talked about, and there's so many different avenues to look at. If you out there have, if we talked about something or touched on something and you're like, oh, but what about this? By all means, throw that stuff out there to us. We love discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So join in. By all means, join in the discussion.
Yeah. And if you've got something you'd like us to talk about, throw us a topic idea.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of the show Black Mirror. I've already seen all the episodes.
I think I'm going to get to.
So if you guys have a specific one that really caught your attention and thought-provoking that you would like to hear us talk about, drop us a line on that. Let us know. If anything that you would like to hear us talk about, give us some curveballs. I love research. I enjoy reading. So let us know. And how can you let us know, you might be asking?
Well, you could find us on Facebook, like I said earlier, /2mindspodcast.
You can tweet at us your thoughts at twomindspodcast on the Twitter machine.
Yep. You can shoot us an email through Gmail, twomindspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. So drop us a line. Let us know.
And you can find this episode and all of our previous episodes are on our hosting site, which is at twominds.podbean.com. And now, oh yes, I heard
just
about this.
recently, we are also now, all of our episodes, our back catalog and our new current episodes will be pretty quickly published on Spotify.
Yay!
So you can now get us on Spotify.
Nice.
And in this, in the notes for this one, I will include a direct link to the Spotify page.
Cool.
Just in case anybody wants to click it.
Awesome. So, dude, Nosedive, that was a heck of an episode.
It's scary. And what scares me even more is
that it really could happen.
How close it is to being a reality.
Yeah. I thought the